Welcome back to episode 23 of the Swider Show, man. Some people might call it the Jordan episode, and it's actually fitting because today the GOAT retires. The GOAT retires, Paddy.
Yeah, I don't even
Jim
know
Bay,
what to say. I mean,
yeah,
it's like all we can that's really on our mind. Like we had a show planned out per usual, nice pre-show, but um yeah, man, it's sad. It's like very surreal. Obviously with his age and how long he's been there and everything, like we kind of knew it was coming one of these years, but the fact that it's actually like official now is just very sad.
yeah. I mean, we obviously played for him last year, and he did an unbelievable job with our team, and just the legacy, the tradition, the overall, just what he means to Syracuse, the community, the basketball program, and the athletic department, the university. It's a sad day to see him go. I don't know, like for some reason, I just feel like emotional. Like
Yeah, exactly. It's really hard to describe. And I mean, obviously as a walk-on, I don't have the same relationship as playing on the court with him as most guys did that played for him, but just like the presence that he has without saying a word, the way he conducted himself, like you said, he literally raised like a generation of Syracuse people. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Like there's no I was just thinking about it, like the fact he's there for 47 years. Are there even Syracuse fans around right now that like remember a time before Jim Boeheim? Probably not, right?
there can't be like
Like
this.
they weren't a thing before he got there.
There's a great quote by one of our managers, Brandon Grant. He was like, "Syracuse was a football school before Boeheim took over."
Yeah, no one remembers them being a football school. Like
Exactly,
it's just like
exactly.
incredible. And yeah, just for context here for the listeners, it's 5:47 p.m. Eastern Wednesday. So he literally announced it, I don't know, 20 minutes ago, like ten minutes before he got on the mic. So um yeah, I mean I was looking up beforehand trying to like find some stats, find some but everything's been said at this point. It's just sad. But
But I just want to take a couple moments. I mean, 2 years ago at this point, I was transferring from Villanova. I got a call from Coach Boeheim. Coach Boeheim recruited me in high school, and yeah, man, he really believed in me at that time. But especially after my 3 years at Villanova, like I went through a lot of hard times, a lot of basketball anxiety. Had a good 3 years there, but at the end of the day, like I knew I wasn't going to be the player I wanted to be at Villanova. So I went to the transfer portal. Coach Boeheim called me. This first person GMAC called me, but G, Coach Boeheim took the phone from GMAC and just talked to me for 20 minutes about how my career is gonna be resurrected, how I'm remembered as a Syracuse player,
mhm.
what I can do in a Syracuse uniform that can resurrect my basketball career and be a part of such a great family and an alumni base and how I'll be able to shoot again
You're
and
right.
get my confidence back up. I'm gonna let you play through mistakes and just at that time in my life, I needed it more than anything, and that I think that's why I'm emotional today because it's like, especially over these past 2 years, the the critique of Coach Boeheim has been at a very high level, but we forget about
Yeah.
all that he's done. And I sincerely, I just want to thank Coach Boeheim, thank Syracuse University for giving me that second chance. And it's hard for me to put into words how much he means to me as a person.
Yeah.
Um, and ultimately getting me here to where I am today. Because without him, I don't know if I would be here. So, thank you to Coach Boeheim. Thank you to everyone in Syracuse. And
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just a tough pill to swallow because of everything that he means to me and the city and everything like that. But I don't know,
The other thing is
just
like
super blessed.
literally decades and decades of players have such a similar story to that where you're in this college basketball realm in this world where you constantly have coaches, especially when you're at your level, calling you and they want you on their team and they telling you all these things. And one of the hardest things about getting recruited is like deciphering, all right, like is this program, is this guy really going to hold to that? And is when I show up, is he going to be the same way that he is when he's recruiting me? You can never, ever, ever say that about Coach Boeheim. Like when he calls you on the phone there, you're lacking confidence. You feel like basically I've talked to you about this before, but you just wanted to like have someone believe in you to the point where basketball felt like basketball again. And
Yeah,
I'm sure you were getting coaches or calls from other people in the transfer portal, but like when Jim Boeheim calls you and gives you that vote of confidence, one, you know it's going to come true because he's not going to BS you. And two, like the honor of having him say that is just ridiculous. Um, but yeah, he's synonymous with college basketball. It's sad to see like that in the last couple of years between him, Kay, Roy Williams, these kind of legends are coming and going. But yeah, I mean, 1,100 wins. We're not gonna, get into the vacancy or whatever of 100 of them they count. The 2-3 zone. I mean, think about how legendary that is alone.
Yeah, it's just he's a staple in college basketball. They were just talking about it on Around the Horn and some of the PTI of not only the great basketball coach he was, but how how he kind of he's just a staple in college basketball. It's a sad time to see all these legendary coaches go, right? I mean,
Mhm.
Coach Boeheim did it longer than anyone. He did it at a high level for a very long time. And yeah, man, I mean, I have the most utmost respect for Coach Boeheim, the program that he ran, what he was able to do over 47 years and still do it at a high level till the day he retired. So just very thankful to him, very thankful to all the words and the wisdom and the lessons that he taught me
Mhm.
and all of our teammates, and just really brought a different style of basketball to my eyes. The 2-3 zone, the confidence that you play with on the offensive end, being able to switch the way your team plays every single year, no matter the roster you have, right? Like what we shoot around 43s a game last year, 35
Yeah,
threes
and
a
then
game
now
last year.
they shoot like 10 a year. Yeah,
They shoot
or
like
10
10
a
a
game.
game now,
The
and
other thing about when GMAC was on the pod, he was talking about how Coach Boeheim could literally walk in one practice, look at his team, and 15 minutes in, just be like, "No, this guy does this. He should play this many minutes. This is the role that that guy will have." And he's just spot on because he's literally seen everything to this point. But
seen
um,
everything, man.
yeah, just a legend in every single sense of the word. The goat. His imprints are literally all over. Not even just college basketball, but you read those stories where he was with the USA team and they needed to go zones. Coach K is like, "Hey, let's put in orange." Then they had to win a gold medal. Yeah, how much he means to so many players, so many families, literally to Syracuse, to college basketball as a whole. It's not enough could be said about it. So, um, yeah, I mean, there's really not much else to say.
Thank
And
you, Coach. Thank you, Coach Boeheim from the
yeah,
Swider Show.
thank you, Coach Boeheim, very much. I, I mean, you have a very personal story with him. I never in a billion years thought I would have any contact with Jim Boeheim. I mean, he was incredibly good to me last year. So,
And even
um,
called you the best
yeah,
walk on in Syracuse basketball
yeah,
history.
yeah. We got to add that in. I think that's 80% on an episode. So,
Yep.
yeah, the Miss Orange or whatever festival. He did say that. So, yeah, I mean, not many people could walk around have
And
Jim Boeheim say that about the.
and before we move on, not only the basketball effect he had on the community, I mean, he'll probably still have this effect, but the amount of charitable events and
Yeah, the Jim and Julie Foundation, like all that. It's just been
it's
so consistent.
unbelievable. And I've never met a man who's been so charitable and so thankful for just the community that he lives in, right? Like he could easily just be a basketball coach, be a Hall of Famer,
Mhm.
and that could be good enough, right? But his impact is far more than just on the basketball court. And I think playing for him for a year, you realize how impactful his stays in Syracuse
Yeah, he'll definitely
and how much he truly means to the community. So just super
he's going to
thankful to Coach
continue to do
Boeheim.
that too. Yeah.
He will.
What was I going to say? Oh, also last thing, it'll be good to see the next couple days. Like you said, the last 2 or 3 years, he's just been getting dragged a lot on social media, and people have been very underappreciated or unappreciative of him. So it'll be cool these next couple days. Like all the shows, people will be writing articles. Like all social media will just be like giving him his flowers. So
Much
excited for that
deserved.
content. But
Much
yeah,
deserved.
it's incredibly well deserved. But this also makes it, as far as the show goes, somewhat fitting that we do have his son Jimmy Boeheim on this
Yeah.
episode. Um, with this is Swider. I mean, incredibly busy time for college basketball. We tried to pin down some guests, but anyone who's playing college basketball, anyone who's playing professionally right now, like March right here, these next couple of weeks, it just picks up to a point where it's like very, very hard to kind of find time. So we
Yeah.
did bank an episode or a draft with Jimmy Boeheim. Very funny, very good picks. You guys are definitely find that entertaining. So yeah, we didn't foresee this coinciding with his dad retiring, but It'll be good to hear Boeheim's voice on the episode. And yeah, next week and throughout the show's history, we'll probably talk about Jim Boeheim every single episode. So yeah, thank you very much, Coach, from the Swider Show again.
Yep.
But yeah, I guess getting into the original agenda before that, like I said, very busy time for college basketball. Have you caught any of the conference tournaments, Swider?
Yeah, man. I've seen a couple of these conference tournaments. I always love watching like the mid major teams
Oh,
battle it
the
out for the
best.
tournament bids. That's always a fun time of college basketball. So I've been watching those the last couple of nights. Oral Roberts is going to be a very dark
Yeah.
horse. They might be a
What are
12
they?
seed, Paddy.
I was gonna say they're gonna be like a 12 seed.
They're probably gonna be like that 12-5 matchup that everyone picks Oral Roberts.
Yeah, that's the only thing that gets me a little nervous is I feel like 80% of people are gonna have them in the Sweet 16 at least, and that's when you gotta get.
Yeah.
But it kind of
We
reminds
were
me of.
actually when I was at Villanova my last year, we were playing a very similar team, Winthrop, who was
I was gonna say that.
I think they were like 20. I mean, we only played 27 games that year, so I think they were like 25-2 or 26-1 when we played against them, and everyone was picking them to beat us. And
The other
obviously,
thing
we
is
can't.
Colin got hurt, right?
Colin was
Like
out.
right beforehand. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
we obviously didn't have Colin.
I
We
think
kind of
I
slipped to a 5 seed too because we were like a top like 6-7 team all year, and then we lost our last 2 games because Colin was hurt. We kind of just learned how to play without him, and then
mhm.
we fell into a 26-1 Winthrop team with a 5-12 game.
That definitely factored into the seating too, don't you think? Like your best player being out. Do you think the committee like factors that in?
Big time. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you don't want to put a. I mean, it might end up happening like this, but you don't want to put 2 teams that could make the Final Four playing against each other in the second round.
Right.
So you want to
Yeah,
save
that's a
those
good way
games
to
for
put it.
later in the tournament. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
it definitely affected our seeding. I think truly we were probably around a 2 or 3 seed before Colin got hurt, and once he got hurt,
yeah.
it was obviously different.
Yeah, that was pretty devastating. I did have Winthrop knocking you guys off though, and you lost. Or you I mean, I
We
lost. My
won.
pick was
Yeah,
wrong. Yeah, you
yeah.
did win.
I think the
Yeah.
Swider Show combined for 6 points and three rebounds in that game.
Is that right?
Yeah.
How about this? I actually went 0 for 4 on NCAA tournament appearances across divisions. So that's not great. But
It's all good.
what'd you go?
It's all good, Patty.
3 for 4?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh
No,
well,
two for 3.
2 for 3 canceled. Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna make. We were top 10 that year, so it was definitely in. But
Yeah. Um, but do you have any dark horses besides Oral Roberts? Give us a dark horse in like a power conference that you think might win a conference tournament.
man, I mean, I think North Carolina is a really good team. I don't know, man. I love
Everyone's on the scent though. I feel like too many. I think I feel like it's different, or similar to Oral Roberts. Like everyone's just saying, like, "Oh, don't let North Carolina get hot." And when that is the rhetoric around it, I feel like it never happens. Although they definitely do have the
they have the
name, like
DNA. They have
they
the
have the
DNA.
DNA. And if there's anything they showed us last year, if they're playing against, I don't know, UNC, Asheville in December, they might win by 3, squeak it out, look horrible. If you put the bright lights on and like Caleb Love and RJ Davis, they're like, all right, we need a bucket, 2 minutes left, hit a dagger. They
Yeah.
usually make the shot. So,
Well,
um,
I think this year has been a transition year for them. Obviously, they had huge expectations going into the year. They lost a big part of the team in Brady Manick and kind of took away their floor spacing a little bit. They've had inconsistent lineups. Guys have gotten hurt. Everything. But I just feel like now with the experience going in the ACC tournament, they know it's a. I mean, it's been like this for them for probably about the past month, win or go home type situation. But I feel like with the championship DNA, with all the older guys that you have, it's almost hard for them not like it's for me. It's like what it really comes down to is Caleb Love going to make the tough shots that he
yeah,
takes.
exactly.
That's what it comes down to. Because as I think Hubert Davis is a really good coach. I think he trains his guys well to play a certain way, but he has Caleb Love, who he gives a little bit more of a green light to. So is
Hmm.
Caleb Love gonna make those shots that he takes in those tough situations like he did last year in the tournament? Is that gonna be the case? If not,
Hmm.
they might go home in the second round of the ACC tournament. But I can see them getting hot and making a push.
It is funny the variance they have. They could literally win the national championship or lose today and just like their season's over. But I'm gonna be
How
the first
crazy is
guy to
that, man?
I'm gonna be the first guy to ever say this, Swider. You know what matters in March?
What's that?
Guard play. That is an original take. So please credit me whenever anyone else says that on TV because I
Put
told
some
them.
respect on your name, man.
Yeah, Gottlieb, Seth Greenberg, all those guys. When they say that, I am the one that gave them that idea. So I mean, North Carolina does have good guards, so we'll see. My pick is actually another North Carolina team, NC State. Yeah.
I don't love that pick.
I just
I
love Terquavion Smith. If he ever wants to come on the show, he's welcome on the show because the way that guy plays basketball is so entertaining.
I just think that they're just not deep enough. They don't have as many weapons to win. What is it? 4 games or 4 nights? Three
I
games or
actually
three
think,
nights?
yeah, but I think they're more so the North Carolina blueprint from last year. They just got a 5. They're going to play those guys are going to play 38 minutes a night.
But could DJ Burns play 38 minutes for 3 or 4 straight nights? I don't
I
know.
don't know. I barely even know who that is, to be honest with
That's the center that you're talking about.
you. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. Keats, you got in a little like argument with our boy earlier in the year, Boeheim. So I don't know. I don't really
Yeah.
love pulling for them, but just by
It's,
the personnel, that's like my dark horse pick. I don't really think it's gonna happen, but I could
NC
see
State's
them having
also
the
in the tournament.
formula. Are they?
Yeah, they're in.
Are they
They're in the
firmly in?
tournament.
Yeah, that's the
I'm
thing with the ACC. It's tough to decipher through because I don't know. You cut out the bottom like 3 teams, then the rest of the conference looks good, but it definitely is a little bit down as compared to
yeah.
usual years where it's like odds on the best conference in the country. But um, I guess we'll touch a little bit. We talked about Coach Boeheim at the beginning, but this year's Q's team, just a heartbreaking loss.
Yeah.
Like we're recording this after both of our. I want to think it would come as any surprise. Both of our picks there for like dark horses to win the ACC tournament would have been the Orange. I was fully expected. I had fully convinced myself that it was going to happen. And honestly, like if they had won today, if they'd pulled it out, they basically almost beat or did beat everyone else in the conference. So it's kind of wide open, but just a tough loss. The ending
Yeah.
was brutal. So I don't know if you caught
Yeah.
the whole game. It was 9 a.m. your time, but
Yeah. No, I was able to watch it. I was like during the game. I was in shoot around, so didn't get to watch the whole entire game. But I don't know, man. It's just been a kind of the tale of the last 2 years.
mm-hmm.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Like we had it. So I mean, it's obviously tough to see Coach Boeheim go out on a shot like that, but 2 out of the last 3 years in the AC tournament, it's happened like that, right? So it's just heartbreaking, sad,
It's
as
frustrating. Yeah.
frustrating as Orange fans. We been through a lot the past 5-6 years, whatever.
Yeah.
But honestly, it's it seemed like we were getting better as the season got on, and that's what Coach Boeheim wanted from this team,
Mm-hmm.
right? A young team to keep on getting better throughout the whole entire year, keep on just putting days after days after days, and you know Coach Boeheim, like he wants to be the best in March, and I thought the team started out the game great today. They were hitting shots, they were getting everyone involved. Joe looked like he was getting to his spots, even though he wasn't shooting the ball great. He looked confident out there. So shout out to those guys. I mean, they went through a really rough part in the last part of the season,
Mm-hmm.
and they could have easily just hung it up, but they fought their ass off. Shout out to Benny Williams for playing
Yeah. He
probably
had.
the best game
Yeah,
of his
that was the
college
best game of
career.
his career. Yeah, 18, 11, and 5 steals. Yeah, the thing I was most like fired up and proud of watching the game was a lot of team Wake Forest gets hot. They go on that run. We couldn't buy a bucket. There were some turnovers too, but
Yeah,
they're down 12 with whatever it was, 11 minutes, 12 minutes left. And like a lot of teams in that scenario in the conference tournament just completely folded in. Like any listener that's watching this week, you're going to see a lot of teams that it's 12 there. And then all of a sudden you blink and it's like they're down 21. But we fought back. That press ended up working a lot. That was a cool like Boeheim parting shot there where he used to always say last year, he was like, we're not going to press that much, but there's going to be a game or two where this press ends up winning us or getting us back into a game. We end up winning or having a
yeah,
shot at the end, which is literally exactly what happened today.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, the other thing with Cuse is Jesse, third team All ACC, 27, 20, and 5 on a senior night, which was absolutely insane.
You were actually at the game, right?
I was at the game. Yeah, it was like the day, just start to finish, was very surreal. There was just
Eh,
like so much going on, and now,
explain the feeling in the dome that day, because I wasn't able to be there.
mhm,
There's 25,000 people in there, which is obviously amazing. But talk about
there
overall
was
just
just
the
there was just
feeling
so
of
much going. Like
Syracuse.
the feeling of campus that day was just like electric. Like for starters, I was staying at the Crown Plaza downtown. We get on
Nice.
the shuttle. We get on the shuttle. The shuttle's about 20 deep. They see the GMAC jersey I'm wearing. They start asking, "Oh, like GMAC, like you guys big GMAC fans?" I'm like, yeah, we're from Scranton, so like we grew up, loved them, wouldn't miss this day. Everything. They're like, "Oh, we absolutely love GMAC. Like they got to get a win for him today, whatever." Popped over Fagan's, 2 or 3 beers before the game. Everyone's in there. It's shoulder to shoulder packed. Like the atmosphere was just unbelievable, start to finish. It did not feel like, a game where it's too like close to 500 teams. You know what I mean? It was just like
Yeah.
everyone there. You know how Syracuse is. It's literally all people care about the entire day.
Yeah.
So, and then you show up at the arena and like Joe and Jesse and Samir and John Ball, shout out those guys. It's their senior days. So like that ceremony is always very cool. Um, Student section was packed. And then Swider, as I'm walking in, I was walking to my seat, like, so I got tickets from Shane Feldman. So I'm across the way there, like, so basically where we sit, it's a family
Yeah.
section
Yeah.
for the
Yep.
listeners, directly across from the bench. I'm walking in. Who do you think walks basically right by me? Crowd starts going crazy, cheering. He waves. Everyone's going
Carmelo
wild.
Anthony.
Carmelo Anthony, if you ever heard of him. So he walks by. Everyone's going crazy. Yeah, and then the game starts, and we just like looked locked in from the start. Judah's playing real fast. Joe, he didn't necessarily shoot it great from outside, but he had one of the best moves I've ever seen in the second half, where he like punched it through his legs and then went up. Honestly, could have dunked it if the guy wasn't there, and won. Jesse like was just an absolute monster. Um, so the game was like amazing start to finish. It seemed like there was a little more pep at people's step. The guys were playing harder given like the moment. And then the halftime ceremony, they honor the 03 team. Everyone comes out, freaking out. Like Josh Pace was there. Um, all those guys, Hakeem and GMAC were obviously there with and Carmelo. Our guy Dave McMenamin, he was on the court.
Yeah.
Uh,
Awesome.
and then after the game, they do the ceremony. They went with Hakeem first, and everyone was standing. Play the tribute video. I don't know if you saw it on Twitter, Swider, Sean McDonough narrating, but
Yeah.
just like the amount of highlight reel plays that Hakeem Mork had, ridiculous.
It's
So everyone's going
unbelievable.
wild for that. Bunch of blocks, some insane dunks. Everyone's going wild for that. Hakeem's there with his family. Very cool moment. He gives a good speech. And then the transition to the GMAC part of it, I almost started crying. Standing there with my dad. I'm standing there with my two brothers. Everyone there is like just completely locked in. The amount of, I mean, I've seen all the plays 200 times, but just to like see it in that setting, everyone starts saying like Jerry, Jerry, like the crowd is going like crazy. No one left after the game, and then GMAC just gave like the best speech I've ever heard in my
I
life.
saw it
Maybe
on
like
YouTube. Yeah.
he was so comfortable behind the mic. It was perfectly balanced between like humor and making people cry almost. His family was out there with him, that we obviously all know. So just to see him get the appreciation that he deserves, him and Akeem, the 03 team. And then what's ironic about it now is Boeheim gets on the mic and he starts talking about the 03 team. He says like starts talking about the crowd, how great it was that day,
Yeah.
how big of a win it was, all that. No one necessarily knew it at the time, but that ended up being his last time on the dome or on the court at the dome. You know what I mean? So it was just like there was so much significance in the day from beginning to end. So that was pretty long winded, but
No, it's
just an
awesome.
authentic Syracuse day.
Yeah.
Um, and it was awesome that they got the win. It's also like weird that they ended up playing Wake 3 days later, but yeah, it was unbelievable from start to finish. And there was just like so many people there that meant so much to Syracuse. So it is cool in a way that his last regular season game there ended up being, um, such a significant moment for the program. It's like this crowning achievement of the program to this day. So yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah, man. Sounds like an amazing day. Obviously, shout out to GMAC. Shout out to all these guys. We have a little text thread with GMAC, and
Yeah,
we obviously
favorite group in the world.
yeah, we actually we tweet out that video that actually got a lot of love. So shout out Adam Lewis for putting that video together. It almost brought me to tears, man. I was only in
Oh yeah,
Syracuse for 1 year. I wasn't able to lock in and watch all those games like you were, Paddy, but just an amazing man, a person who changed my life, like as well as Coach Boeheim, and just so proud and happy, and there's I can't even put into words
yeah. It was
how
just like,
awesome that moment must have been.
that video was so cool too. It was also awesome. Swider the on Saturday after the game, I ran into GMAC's family, and I was talking to his older brother, and he immediately said like, "Dude, like that video you guys made was awesome. Like I got a little misty watching it." So it was very
I
cool.
love
Like,
it. I love it.
yeah, his older brother watching it. So I think it reached a lot of people. So shout out to fans,
No, it did.
download and listen. And yeah, it's very easy to celebrate Jerry McNamara. He has a lot of moments that you can point to that mean a lot to a lot of people. So I
Yeah,
said in
man.
my tweet, but from Scranton to Cuse, he's just a fucking man. So yeah, for the 100th time, shout out GMAC. But
Yeah.
that's why I quickly could move into the Lakers to the South Bay Lakers here. You guys had a 2-1 week, beat your main Celtics twice.
Yep.
You got a game tomorrow night. So, or no, tonight. Do you want
Tonight.
to
Yep.
include that? Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
I
Tonight.
don't know if you get in trouble there. If you get in the doghouse for being on the pod
No,
the day
no,
off. Yeah.
no.
You run this shit. I forgot about that. But yeah, how have you been feeling on the court?
Yeah, I feel pretty good, man. I mean, throughout the season, there's gonna be so many ups and downs. Like you just gotta stay, mellow, man. I mean, like
Oh,
like our good friend Carmelo Anthony
yeah,
always says,
our close
stay,
personal friend. Yep.
yeah, stay mellow. But um, like I said, man, we had a tough loss last game, a game that we shouldn't have lost. We won 6 in a row before that. It happens throughout the season. So when you play in the G League, the NBA, you play so many games that you're going to be in so many different
Just got to move
situations
on.
that
Yeah.
you got to move on. So um, I'm happy with the way the team's been playing as of late. Last game was a tough one, but looking forward to tonight's game and kind of bouncing back. So we're playing the
Yeah.
same exact team. We lost our
How,
2 big guys, so we don't have Cam Oliver and Jay Huff anymore, who were big parts of our team, who helped me out a lot, being able to play with those guys. And if you guys tune into the South Bay Lakers games, you know what I'm talking about.
yeah.
Me and Cam were starting to have like this connection of being able to play with each
A
other.
lot of
So
DHLs, a lot of dribble handoffs. DHL
exactly,
stands for dribble handoff for all the listeners out there. Nice,
yeah.
nice acronym term.
And Jay and I kind of had this connection as well. So we're adjusting. We're getting better. We're getting used to playing without him. It's tough though. We went from probably having 2 of the best big guys in the whole entire G League to now we have Fabian, who's naturally a 4, playing the 5.
Mm-hmm.
So we're adjusting to it. We're a lot smaller. I might be the tallest guy on the team now, so it's very different.
It's not a bad thing though. I mean, when you tallest guy is also the best shooter on the team, it helps.
Yeah, it helps.
It's my take. Yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah. Shout out Jay. 2-way with the Wizards, right?
big time for Jay, man. We had a really
Yeah.
great moment with him.
Yeah,
Coach
that video
Miles
is cool.
Yeah, Coach Miles came in and was like, "Hey, Jay just got a 2-way with the Wizards, so he won't be with us anymore." We all just jump on him, and we're
Yeah.
so happy for him because he deserves it, man. He deserves it. He's been
Mhm.
playing in LA for 2 years, and ultimately,
Yeah,
he
it's what's
deserves it.
everyone's shooting for, which is a cool part about the G League. There's like no I sense no jealousy within
No,
that
not
video.
with
You
our
know what I
team.
mean? It's
Not with our team.
everyone just like, yeah, everyone's so happy for him. So yeah, a nice little shower there for Jay Huff. But
Yep.
the other thing, the Lakers are playing very well, like the LA Lakers, 6-2 in their last 8,
Yeah.
keeping afloat with LeBron out.
Yeah.
AD was absolutely a monster last night, 30 and
Yeah.
22.
You know what's the crazy about all this is that with the way our season's been starting out 2-10, there's been so
Mhm.
many heartbreaking losses to so many teams. We're 2 games out of 5th in the
Yeah.
West.
Well, that's
Out of 5th.
if it was just, I mean, you start 5-7 instead of 2-10, like I think 3 of your first 15 games were like right down to the wire, like you're talking about.
Big time.
Portland, I don't know, I forget who else, like off the top of my head, but you're literally in like the 4 seed, and that's what 50, what 12 first 12 games. Now what are you guys? 31 and 34,
No, 32 and 34.
32 and 34. So yeah, 54 game sample size. You're basically the 4th best team in the West. So, yeah, it's pretty surreal.
Yeah.
Not surreal at all. It's not the adjective. I don't know why I said that. It's pretty, but
Pretty great.
yeah, you're in position to be in position here, as
For
they
sure.
say.
Big time.
The other thing is King James on his Instagram shouted out 2 players on the team, Troy
Both
Brown Jr. and Austin Reeves.
both friends of the podcast. Both friends of the
So yeah,
podcast.
I mean, I don't know if that's a sign for the rest of your teammates, but anyone who comes on the show seems to be blowing up here. So I'm not going to take credit for it, but yeah, it's kind of cool watching your guys' game because you're in this situation where it's like every game is almost a playoff game.
Yeah.
What are you gonna say?
Yeah. I mean, no, you're just the weatherman. You're just reporting facts. You're just reporting facts. You guys have been on the
Exactly.
show.
Yep.
Honestly, usually play better after.
Yeah.
So,
And none of them got traded either.
none of them.
So yeah, I don't know. That's really all the selling points that we need.
Paddy, thanks for a great pre-show, man. Obviously, we just want to go back to the retirement of Coach Boeheim. Just super blessed and thankful.
Yeah.
We both of us got to be able to play for him. We're gonna kick it over to the Jimmy's draft segment, but obviously very, very thankful, very privileged to be able to play for him. He's one of the GOATs in college basketball for sure. And yeah, man, sad day to be a Syracuse basketball fan, but also an exciting day to see the next era of Syracuse basketball. So shout out to Coach Boeheim, shout out to the Boeheim family for obviously being there for him for the last 47 years. And just super thankful for Coach Boeheim and excited for Coach Red Austria to take over the program and bring and start this new era.
Yeah. I second all of that. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks, Coach Boeheim. Not much else you could say. He's the GOAT. So yeah, we'll kick it to his oldest son, Jimmy Boeheim III.